Welcome to part 2 of this very long recap of half of the year 2017 K-pop sadness. I cannot believe that we're doing a second part to this video and that I'm not already done, but if you didn't watch the first part, which was dedicated strictly to K-pop bands breaking up, click, I don't know, what is it, like the box thing, or the link will be in the description either way, so click that if you want to know and catch up on what bands broke up, because there's a lot and it's a little overwhelming. Anyway, let's keep going with all this sadness and talk about K-pop bands who have had members leave, or multiple. So it's very, Okay, let's go. Alright, this one isn't necessarily a disbandment or member leaving update, but it's more just a follow-up to a video I did about Beast/Highlight, where I talked about how their former company, Cube, was being very, very petty and not giving Beast their name back after Beast left Cube when their contracts expired. They went on to form their own company, Around Us Entertainment, and eventually Beast was sick of making the fans wait and dealing with Cube. So in February, they decided to just forget about this back and forth and rename themselves completely as Highlight after their last album name while they were under Cube, and just because the name signifies a new beginning for them. All 5 members of Beast are, of course, still in Highlight. Their songs have been consistently amazing, and they're clearly happier being a little more in control of things, which is what we all want from our artists. And as for that new 3-member Beast with Hyunsung, that everybody, including Hyunsung himself, hated the idea of, Cube said only that the matter is still currently in discussion. Stop trying to make Beast 2.0 happen, Cube. It's not going to happen. And probably the most understandable reason to leave a group, Royal Pirates bassist James left the group on January 31st because of ongoing complications with his wrist. And if you don't know about that, here's the basic rundown of what's happened. In June of 2015, he was involved in a freak accident where a heavy metal door at a restaurant somehow fell over onto James, crushing his arm and nearly severing his hand from his arm. He was determined to not have his hand be amputated, it was that bad, because he plays bass and obviously you need 2 hands for that, and ever since then he's been going through gruesome surgeries and physical recovery sessions to get the feeling and mobility back in his hand again. He switched over to playing keyboard during his recovery process for Royal Pirates' last mini-album, but doctors recently found a blood clot in his brain, and he said he doesn't want to keep the fans and his other members waiting for him while he gets treatment for that, so he's decided to leave the group. The singer of Royal Pirates, Sooyoung, has released a single or 2 since James has left, which again is what James wanted to have happen. He wanted them to continue on without him. So if anybody deserves a pass here, it's James. This guy has been through setback after setback, and the pain of his treatments, along with the pain of him not only not being able to do what he loves, but to not be able to do it because of things he literally can't help, it's gotta be like, I can't even begin to try to put myself in his shoes. So while I'm really sad to see James go because Royal Pirates was my favorite K-pop band, it's 100% for the best for him. I hope that he takes the time to recover and, feel a little less stressed about keeping fans waiting, and I hope with everything in me he's able to do what he loves again. On January 31st, Nara from What's Up, who has become recognizable for being on Unpretty Rap Star 3, filed to terminate her contract with the appropriately named Mafia Records over insufficient payment. She said that she has not been compensated at all for promotions that she's done as the 2nd place winner, on Unpretty Rap Star, and that her company hasn't paid her. Her company said that she didn't actually make a profit due to her training fees and What's Up's activities that they paid for, so her earnings went toward those fees. While Mafia Records admitted to being basically brokety broke and that they just couldn't afford to pay the members, Nara denied this, stating that her company just didn't give her enough opportunity to promote as a solo artist. But it's not just Nara who's filing for contract termination, but also her other members, Jinju and Dain, who filed 2 days later on February 2nd for the exact same reasons. And they weren't on Unpretty Rap Star, and What's Up hasn't really been promoting. so methinks that there was some validity in Nada's claim. Finally, on June 30th, we're cutting this very close here, a court ruling allowed them to terminate their contracts for about $43,000 per member, as was apparently stated in their contracts. This dispute is still ongoing to an extent because the courts are now trying to obtain records from their company to see if they owe the 3 members any payment. But at least they're free to look for new agencies now, and as for the other 4 members of What's Up, they seem to be carrying on just fine with them having just made a comeback as 4 in April. Alright, this situation is still ongoing, so technically he's not a member that left, but is trying to leave. On February 8th, it was revealed that Teen Top's L.Joe filed a lawsuit against his company Top Media to leave the group and company due to conflicts with the company interfering in his personal activities. This includes not letting L.Joe be in a musical despite the director showing interest and there being some sort of loose agreement between the director and Top Media that he could be in the musical. Top Media has denied reports of them restricting L.Joe's solo activities, but the director of that musical is saying the opposite and taking L.Joe's side, which is pretty interesting. What was a little strange was that despite all of this, Top Media went ahead with Teen Top promotions in March without L.Joe, even though they continued saying that they hoped L.Joe had a change of heart and decided to promote with the other members. This obviously didn't happen, and the members promoted without him as 5, while the lawsuit with L.Joe and the company was still ongoing. Now, there's reports of L.Joe and Top Media trying to work things out outside of a courtroom, but there hasn't been any sort of news updates about it since April. So this one's a little hard to tell who's in the right and who's in the wrong, but maybe it just really isn't that clear cut. They could both be partly right and partly wrong. Despite what happens 80% of the time in K-pop, not all companies are vengeful and greedy. Like, misunderstandings happen, and sometimes even the artists themselves get too greedy. I think we should just wait and see. Wait and see how everything plays out, if any more information gets released, that sort of thing. For now, L.Joe is currently promoting solo in musicals, like he wanted, outside of his Teen Top contract, while the group promotes as 5. Alright, let's just get this one out of the way. On March 1st, it was announced that Kevin would be leaving his group UKISS after 9 years of being in UKISS, as well as leaving his company, NH Media, and I'm very, very, very not happy about it still. This was my bias in this group, and it's happened to me, so I didn't come away from this unscathed either, okay? Anyway, his company stated he was leaving UKISS at the end of March, and that he was going to wrap up UKISS promotions in Japan with the others before departing. The company also said that UKISS will continue to promote as a 5-member group, which honestly is the best way that they can do this, because I really don't think they'd fare any better with new members at this point anyway. But yeah, this shocked me because Kevin's one of the only original members of UKISS left besides Eli and Soohyun. With Eli getting married and having a baby, I thought for sure he would leave before Kevin. Basically, I thought any of them would leave before Kevin. But he was with the group for almost a decade, which commands a lot of respect. I miss him a lot in UKISS. He had a unique voice, he had a bubbly personality, he was just a great part of UKISS. But he's been doing solo activities like musicals in Japan, he was also at KCON New York, and he even meets with the members every now and again, and so he's doing just fine by himself, and the members seem to be totally okay as well. So I will support Kevin in his solo ventures and continue to support UKISS, even if it hurts. Now, I only made a video about Crayon Pop this year as far as Soyul's surprise announcement that she was getting married. I was quickly told that a lot of fans actually knew she was dating Heejun of HOT for a while now, so it actually wasn't as shocking as I took it to be. But I bet they didn't see her getting pregnant and not revealing it until the week of the baby being due coming. People who said they were getting married out of wedlock, I guess you were right. But then what about Crayon Pop? There had been rumors of disbandment since Soyul's wedding announcement back in February because Crayon Pop's contracts were going to expire with their agency, Chrome Entertainment, in March. So 2 months later, with no word and a surprise baby, and Chrome announced that Soyul had left the group. However, Crayon Pop would now go on with the remaining 4 members. Honestly, this news wasn't so shocking since the baby announcement, and I think we all kind of saw this coming. But it's a bummer because I wanted Soyul to prove that you can be a married female idol and still be active in K-pop. Yes, By the way, I know that there is Brown Eyed Girl's Narsha, but they haven't promoted since her marriage, so I'm not counting it. Plus, Soyul was the most recognizable member of Crayon Pop, and she was also the main vocalist, so hopefully they can still be strong as four after their individual activities, announced by Chrome, are over. By far the least surprising given the status of this group, on May 31st, After School's Yui announced on her official fan cafe that she will be graduating from After School. She wrote a handwritten letter to the fans and to her group members, basically saying that she was thankful for all the time she spent in After School and that it was her turn to graduate. Yui is already signed on to a new agency, and I'm guessing by when she says that it's her turn, it means that, hey, my contract's finally expiring and After School is doing diddly squat, and my acting career seems to be doing decent, so let's just keep going with that. I don't blame her. Currently, After School still has 5 members: Nana, Reina, Lizzie, Kayun, and Young, and the last Korean single they released was back in 2013, and they released a Japanese single in 2014. They've been doing nothing. So it's probably good that she left while she could. Finally, again, we're cutting this very, very close, but this has been very, very oddly dramatic and confusing up until it came into a final decision very recently. One of the most shocking ones, AOA's Choa. AOA's Choa announced that she would be leaving AOA to focus on her mental and physical health, revealing on an Instagram post on June 22nd that she had been dealing with insomnia and depression. This comes after some speculation that she was leaving the group because she hadn't been promoting actively with AOA for the last couple months. She'd pop in every now and then, and it was a little weird because she was the lead vocalist and she's also by far the most well-known, voice, I guess besides Jimin, in AOA songs. People were concerned because they were saying, it's like no Taeyeon in SNSD, it's like no G-Dragon in Big Bang. If Choa left, what would AOA be? And in another bout for Worst Company of the Year, FNC Entertainment saw this and they were like, we don't know what she's talking about. We have to discuss with her. There has been no confirmation that she will be leaving AOA. Meanwhile, Choa defended herself against rumors of her leaving to get married or that she was pregnant because photos had come out that she was supposedly dating some wealthy man and that there were pictures of her standing closely to a guy in Japan. Finally, 8 agonizing days later, with a shred of hope from AOA fans that she would stay, on June 30th, it was finally confirmed by both Choa and FNC that she would be leaving the group. FNC finally confirmed this on June 30th, saying that she will be leaving AOA. The members will greet fans through individual activities through a variety of fields. We ask for fan love and support. The last activity she did as an AOA member was for a fan signing at a clothing brand. Some people were mad because she seemed to look happy, was smiling, but nobody really wants a depressed person promoting their product, so that's understandable. But other fans pointed out that she seemed to be kind of relieved. There was a sense of relief in her face that she was sad about leaving AOA, but happy to just have the stress away from her. And for now, the group's been promoting without Choa anyway at live events. They're probably going to continue to do so. I hope they can defy the odds and come back strong as 6th, but it's kind of silly to not admit that Choa was the voice of AOA. This took forever to make, so if you have stayed with me for even part of one video, I so appreciate it so much, so thank you guys for watching. Maybe I'll do a second half of the year thing. We're still waiting for Miss A. We're waiting for whatever drama will come from Super Junior. We're waiting for a lot of stuff. I do not doubt that the second half of the year will be just as dramatic. I hope you guys all caught up. What was the most saddening member departure that you went through? Mine was obviously Kevin from UKISS. And do you have any predictions for how the rest of the year is going to go? Leave all of your conspiracy theories and sad stuff in the comments below, and I thank you guys so much again for watching. Hopefully I'll come back to you with something maybe a little more uplifting and something significantly shorter. Bye guys.